everyone. This is Anita from Hoping Minds. So again, I'm here with a new workshop on resume and LinkedIn profile building masterclass. And I'm pretty sure that this is what you all would want, especially at this stage, for shaping up your career ahead. Before starting with the webinar, let me just give a brief about the whole outline that what will be like going on in this webinar. So we'll be discussing certain strategies of resume building, followed by certain inputs from your side on certain resumes as well. And further, we'll even carry certain deep insights to LinkedIn profile. And then at the last, the exciting part, again, that the students who have been following Hoping Minds, they very well know that what is the end of the webinar. We always lined up the webinar with a Kahoot fun quiz in which we'll be having 10 questions and it will be a race with the time. So be very, very focused for the whole time because whatever the questions are there, they'll all be based on the webinar that we'll be having. And you can even win prizes up to 5,000 rupees. So let's start with a great enthusiasm. Let's move to today's webinar featuring a remarkable entrepreneur, Chinmay Abhi, who is a dynamic professional who dons multiple hats. With nearly 2 decades of experience under her belt, she's the founder of Change Your Story, which empowers people to discover meaningful professional goals and handhold them to get their happier, faster, and stronger with all these 3 abilities. Chinmay is an internationally certified career coach recognized by CCA, that is Certified Coaches Alliance, also an accomplished speaker, a published author, and a trusted corporate coach, coaching the senior and the middle-level professionals to enhance results in performance, productivity, and engagement, and whatnot, which carries in all the industries. So today we have the privilege of delving into her wealth of knowledge and experience as she shares invaluable insights and strategies of resume writing, video resumes, personal website development, LinkedIn profile branding that can actually transform your career and your professional journey as well. So without further ado, I guess we can start. So let's start our journey with Chinmay Abhi and learn how to take the charge of our careers, and we can even script a bright future with Chinmay. So over to you, Chinmay. We welcome Chinmay to Hoping Minds.
Hello, thank you so much, Anita, for those kind words.
Yeah.
I hope I'll be able to do justice to the expectations that you set.
Sure.
Hello and welcome, everyone. Thank you. Welcome to one and all. How about typing in the chat and telling us if you can see me live, loud, and you can hear me? Is my voice audible to all of you? Come on, type in the comments and let us know. Okay, I can see some raised hands there. Thank you, Kranti. Thank you so much. Thank you, Shashank. All right, awesome. On that note, I'm going to share my presentation and we shall start, right? We're already a little late. So welcome. We are going to discuss how can you unlock the power of your resume and LinkedIn profile. And on that note, we'll get started. So tell me, what is your biggest challenge when you think about the word resume? When I say resume, what is your biggest challenge? Type in the comment box and let us know. What is the biggest challenge when you talk about a resume? Okay, we can still see the raising hands. So I'm guessing that what you all mean is that it is a very challenging topic, or it's you find it challenging to create your own resume. Yeah. So welcome. Get ready to learn how to make your own resume and LinkedIn profile shine like never before. And let's try to have some fun on this journey to professional success, isn't it? Having fun is very important, right? Because guess what? We are going to work for at least 40 to 50 years. So I believe if you don't like what you do and if you're not enjoying it, what is the point? You will be miserable, isn't it? So let's try to have some fun and let's try and build that interaction. So When you talk about resume, LinkedIn, what is it that we are trying to do? We are trying to position ourselves as a brand, right? And in order to be able to, for you to do that, it is extremely imperative that first and foremost, you know yourself, right? So my question to all of you today, and there are about 90, 95 odd people on this webinar, take a moment, pause, and ask yourself, do I know myself? Because there is no bigger challenge in life. And trust me, if you know yourself, half of the battle is won, right? Because if you know yourself, then from that space of awareness, you can position yourself in whatever niche you may be in, or whatever expertise you may have, or whatever your strengths may be. But do you know yourself? Your strengths, your weaknesses, your aspirations, your ambitions, questions like, where do you see yourself 10 years down the line? You don't have to give that, that flamboyant answer or make it look really, artistic. What's important is that you're authentic. What's important is that you know where you are today, and you know that where do you want to see yourself 5 years, 10 years, 2 years down the line. All right. So I want to start at that note that resume, LinkedIn is very transactional to a certain point, but there's a lot of work that you need to do before that. Have you done that work? So spend some time getting to know yourself. But as you step into a new world of the corporate, of stepping into your career, starting your job or your career, what do you expect? You expect to get hired by these amazing companies, isn't it? Type in the comment box if you see your dream company here on the screen. Say yes or show me a thumbs up. Show me a thumbs up if you see your dream company here. All right, wow. So many people raising hands. Awesome. Yeah, so you expect to be hired by any of these or some of these companies, but what do these companies expect from you, right? So as you move forward, applying for these jobs, it is important that you know that what are these companies expecting from you, right? And we all have dreams and expectations about your first job. Okay, I want you all to raise hands if you are going to start your first job. As you step into this world, tell me that you're going to start your first job. Okay, we have so many people starting afresh. Sorry about my throat and that interruption. So, what does a job mean to you? Money, autonomy, experience, knowledge from experience. Some of you want to learn as you start your career with a company. You want to expand your network. You want a new social role. You want to build your social circle, make new friends. And most importantly, you want to have a sense of achievement. When you introduce yourself, you say, oh, I'm working with Amazon or Adobe Systems, right? So one feels that sense of achievement, right? That you've arrived into this professional world. And as a result, you feel more confident. You feel your self-esteem, increases. But what do you bring with yourself? You have your background, your personality, your education, strengths, skills, your career plan, preferences, expectations, and even weaknesses, right? Because the way you perform in your organization depends on all these. These are determinant factors as you go and step into the corporate world tomorrow. And what does the world outside expect? And why it is important to understand that we should know what others expect of us before we can go out there and build a brand for yourself, right? So today's world is challenging, expects you to be committed, to be self-motivated. Good communication skills, we cannot stress it enough, but that is a table stake, right? You cannot go for an interview with average communication skills today, right? You have to be able to communicate, teamwork, problem solving skills, hard working, capacity to work hard, somebody who takes initiative, is self-reliant, is a balanced personality, of course, has domain knowledge, technical knowledge in your case, and so on. So many expectations of you. Are you aware of these before you go out there launching your job search, right? And some of the challenges that people tell me they face is uncertainty about the future, right? Academic qualification doesn't reflect on employability. You may have passed out from great colleges, but are you employable, right? And how do you communicate employability, right? So these are some of the challenges people face: fierce competition, lack of confidence, lack of guidance, motivation, low competence levels, ignorance about how to present self in the best light, inability to optimize social image to get the right opportunities. Do you know your strengths, and how do you reflect and position, and how do you bring out those strengths on a resume or during a job interview? Extremely important, but it's a very big challenge. Lack of vision, interpersonal skills, uh, negative thinking. And this comes in the first sentence: uncertainty about the future, internal challenges and external challenges. Internal challenges include your low self-confidence, self-esteem, sadness, guilt, fear, right? Low confidence. External factors are job market trends, right? Which industry is doing very well, which industry is going through saturation, and so on and so forth. The market forces. So these are some of the challenges that people face as they start their career, right? What do you bring onto the table? We have talked about how it is so important to know yourself. We have also talked about your expectations from the job that you want to land out into. We've also discussed very quickly about the expectations that the outside world has. The company that will hire you will have expectations from you. The kind of challenges you face and the kind of attitude one must have as you step into the new corporate career, into the new world, right? So now I'm going to give you certain tools, right? So how do you overcome these challenges? Okay, so here is your strategy, all right? And listen very carefully. So you can formulate your strategy. But before that, do you know that we all sell for a living? How many of you agree? You can tell me a yes with a show of hands. We all sell for a living. How many of you agree? Okay, okay. Okay, around 25 people agree that we all sell for a living. What about the others? Do not agree, is it? Okay. All right. So let us see if I can, share a perspective here, and if you can consider this perspective, right? Meet Peter. Here's a story I'm going to tell you, all right? Meet Peter, an accountant. He said, just like a few friends here on this webinar, no, I am a professional and I'm employed as an accountant. I do not sell for a living, all right? He did not believe me when I told him that you're selling for a living. So then what did Peter do? He said, look, I don't sell. I'm an accountant. I'm doing a job. I'm working, right? So how is that selling? I said, okay, really? So I gave him an example. I said, okay, Peter, what do you do when you have to buy a new car? Okay. I asked him, what do you do when you have to buy a new car? For example, I said, Peter, you would go to the market and see what is available, right? What brand car is available? Honda, Nissan, Toyota, Mazda, Ford. And then you're going to evaluate what is the brand, or which car is the one that you're getting for the money that you're paying. We all have budgets, right? जब हम कोई गाड़ी खरीदने जाते हैं, I know my budget, correct? So I know in this budget, which are the cars or options that are available, right? Peter said, okay, fair point. And then, Peter, you would go to collect the information about these cars, right? You would visit the car dealers, shops, showrooms, and you will take some test drives. You will look at their features and look at कि मेरे इस budget में कौन सी car मुझे best, which is the best car that I will get, right? जो मुझे mileage भी दे, depending on your priorities, right? इसमें sunroof भी है, इसमें you have the highway automatic drive or whatever. it is that you're looking for. Peter said, okay, fair point. And now, Peter, you would make a decision to buy the car. Isn't that how we all buy the cars or anything for that matter? So far, so good. Show me your hands and tell me if you're with me. एक normally जब भी हम कुछ shop करने जाते हैं market में, चाहे वो गाड़ी हो, चाहे वो कोई भी छोटी सी चीज हो. This is the process we are following, isn't it? First, we go see what is available in the market. Then we evaluate कि मेरे budget में मुझे क्या options मिलेंगे. Then we go and take information about those products, and then we finally decide, right? Exactly. Now let's look at the hiring process, the traditional hiring process. What do? There is an advertisement stage, right, for employees. आप लोग अपना resume send करते हो, या LinkedIn profile update करते हो, या job applications पे apply करते हो, right? And then you communicate, right? The employer will collect information about the candidates, the prospective employer. And then the employer will evaluate that in the given people, in the given applications we have, if this is the money I'm paying, what are the options or what are the people that I am, what are the kind of candidates that are available in the market, right? And after evaluation, they will run you through a recruitment process, a recruitment drive, starting from resume and then screening and then telephonic round and blah, blah, blah. And we know the drill, right? And the final stage where the employer would make a decision about which candidate to hire. So as you can see, Peter, employees go through the same process when hiring employees as you go through when buying a car. Make sense? Does it make sense? All my friends who said we are not selling for a living. Well, we all are selling for a living. You like it or you don't. But end of the day, if somebody is paying me money, if somebody is paying me a salary, I am being hired to solve a problem. And it's my responsibility to sell those skills to this prospective employer and justify my salary, justify my positioning, that why should I be the candidate to get hired in your company and not the other 999, for example. Yeah. So please understand that we are all selling for a living. A self-employed accountant sells his services to his customers, whereas an employed accountant sells his services to his employer. You get the difference? But both the people are actually just selling their services. So Peter needs to have 3 skills. So Peter, in the sense that all of you, okay, because all of you are going to step in the market, you want to sell your skills and you want to position yourself as an expert, or at least somebody who's got the right aptitude, right attitude, right skill set, right? So you need to have these skills in order to sell your services. Advertise and market, communicate effectively, and show value, right? So potential employers would know about your existence through your LinkedIn profile, through your resume, through your cover letter, and this is the advertisement stage, right, which we just discussed. And then you communicate your skills so that an employer knows what the company is getting in return of the salary or the appointment letter or the offer letter, right? So how do you do that? During an interview stage, of course, that is when you get there. And then you show value. What is the value that you can bring in? So basically, to get hired into your dream job, you need these 3 skills: advertise, market, communicate, and show value. All right. So these are the 3 skills that you need to land into your dream job. But do you know how to advertise, how to communicate, and how to evaluate in order to sell yourself effectively? But guess what? That's what I'm here for today, isn't it? That's the webinar all about. How can you create your winning killer resume and a LinkedIn profile, right? So now we shall get straight into that. But it was very important for you to understand where you have to go. Why are you doing this? Why is this webinar or this topic so important and imperative? And as you know, it's so much of competition out there. For every single job, there are hundreds and hundreds of people applying. Okay. And here is the myth. If I have scared you a little bit, this one's for you. The best candidate always gets the job. That is not true. Actually, the candidate who sells himself or herself most effectively always gets the job. Yeah. So you can do that too. You know how? By feeling prepared, which is equal to correct positioning, which is equal to improved confidence, which is equal to successful interviewing and landing straight into your job with the job offer. So are you with me so far? Come on, raise your hands and tell me that you're having fun. And also please tell me, okay, great, thank you so much. I can see everybody's liking this and finding value in this. But can you also show me your hands and tell me, do we now agree that we are all selling for a living? Let me see how many people believe that. How many people believe that we're selling for a living? Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Thanks. Okay, let's move forward. So how do you build your personal brand? First of all, what is a personal brand? Your personal brand is your superpower. Learn how to create a compelling personal brand that reflects your unique skills, experiences, and values, right? And some of the techniques include having a professional, excellent professional resume, a LinkedIn profile for you to position yourself so that you can use these tools to build a brand for yourself. So what is a resume? Let's talk about what is a resume. It is your sales document. It is your sales brochure, right? That highlights your skills, achievements, and experience in such a way that the reader is motivated to meet you. Why motivated to meet you? Because resume is nothing but a document that gets your foot in the door. Because once you sit across the table with the interviewer, then of course you can do the talking for yourself, right? But you cannot do that unless you have an excellent resume that makes the cut, right? You cannot do that unless the person looks at the document and says, okay, this looks like a competitive, competent professional, and let me pick up the phone and call this person, right? Or after which, of course, you know, if all goes well, they'd like to meet you in person, right? So that is how important that resume is. It is your personal sales brochure which advertises what you have done so far and what can you do for the reader. Let's see, why do you need a resume? Why do you need a resume? I just told you, right? To get an interview, not to get a job, but to get an interview. The objective of a CV is not to get a job or to win a contract, but to get you that one meeting, to get your foot in the door, right?
Entry is also awesome. Anyhow, the students have started responding in that activity only 5 to 6 seconds, 2 to 3 minutes. This is what the response we are getting for the question.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Thank you for that response.
Yeah.
Well, employers scan your CV for the first time in less than 30 seconds, but the latest research says actually 5 to 8 seconds. So one of you are right. But you know, it was very hard for me to believe that 5 seconds mein to aap पढ़ नहीं सकते हो कुछ भी, right? So I would still like to believe, and I have been recruiting myself, so I don't think I will take less than 30 seconds, but yeah, somewhere between 25 to 30 seconds, I think is a safe bet where, you know, one can make out that will this person or this resume fall in the shortlisted, you know, the first elimination round, I may say that, and which one should we spend more time in to understand and then take a decision, right? So thank you for your responses and thank you for the interaction. So your resume is your golden ticket to interviews, as we know that. Discover the art of crafting an irresistible resume that highlights your achievements and grab the employer's attention, right? So let us see, how can you make your resume pop? Are we ready? Ready for the action? All right, thank you. So how to create an impact in 30 seconds? Let us see, what does it really take to have that irresistible resume? And you might want to quickly grab your notepads and pens, okay? All right. So a profile is your banner headline. So there is something called profile summary, right? It is nothing but either a banner headline or a summary of your main selling points. It gives a brief overview of who you are. It highlights your main skills and experience. It communicates your personal attributes. It motivates the readers to know more and creates the first impression. Now, it is important, I think, जब भी हम resume की बात करते हैं, it is extremely important that we all understand one thumb rule, okay? And the thumb rule is brevity is the key. You know, be as concise as possible. All right. There used to be a time when the resumes would run into 3 pages. But now even for the CEOs, that senior level and that level of seniority, we stick to 2-pager, right? And of course, we have to be able to do justice to that experience. So 2 or 2.5 pages, but especially if you are a fresher and you're just starting to send or create a resume for yourself, 1-pager is something that you should stick with. All right. And so it is important that no matter what goes on the resume or whatever you write, it should be as concise as possible. So brevity is the key, and I cannot stress this point enough. And even the people who are extremely experienced, they have years and years of experience behind them, I always tell them that resume is not an autobiography. Okay, remember that. आपको सब कुछ नहीं लिखना है resume में जो भी आपने किया है. You have to be extremely judicious, and that's exactly why I just took you through the presentation where I told you, and I was, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but it's important to remember that we are only selling. Okay, the resume is nothing but a brochure. I will only pick up the book and read if I like the first cover, the preface, or the introduction. So resume is nothing but only a summary, a brochure, an introduction, right? Make sure you save certain details to talk about and elaborate when you meet the person, right? When you get that first meeting and that first interview call. So I was talking about the profile summary. Keep it brief. 3-4 lines should be good enough. If you're using bullets, maybe 5 bullets, but not extending more than 2 lines per bullet, right? But the shorter, the better. Because the summary gives just a brief overview. It talks about the main skills. It motivates the reader to know more. Motivates matlab ki when I read the summary, profile summary, I feel, wow, the person is just the right fit for the job. Let me go through the entire resume, right? That's the first thing the person is going to read. So make sure you create the first impression, because you can only do that the first time, isn't it? Okay, so let's look at the elements of resume. Skills, experience, education, achievements. Objective is a little bit of a question mark there. I'll talk about it in a bit. Profile, personal details. Profile means profile summary, which I just talked about. And that's how you serve a great dish of your resume, right? So let us look at each and every element one by one. So here I'm starting with objective, and I'm not going to read that slide because it is not applicable anymore. And there's a reason why I've kept this slide, because a lot of you get confused. There was a time when the people would write objectives, but I think we are today living in a day and age where objectives are not needed, right? Because imagine all of you are looking for a job. If everybody's done engineering, for example, and if everybody is building a resume, then all of your objectives, those 2-3 lines that you write right on the top, are going to look exactly the same, isn't it? Because what you're doing is you're presenting yourself, and you will talk about maybe a couple of skills you have, and you will say, I am looking for a job, XYZ organization in an XYZ industry. But that is not needed. It is very fake, right? Because the fact that you're sending your resume to somebody is because you want a job, isn't it? Everybody knows that. So just ditch the objective. It is not needed anymore. It is not applicable anymore. All right, let's move forward. Profile. The profile summary should be relevant, adapted accordingly, and must contain positive statements that sell you. Now, what do I mean by saying adapted accordingly? What does adapted accordingly mean? So adapted accordingly means that you need to have a profile summary which is positioning you for that particular job. It is very important to remember, as I just told you, resume is not an autobiography. You have to remember, what are you applying a job? What is the job that you're applying for? What are the requirements? What is the job description? And from that will come your profile summary, right? So basically, it's got to be a combination of your strengths, your highlights, right? Your skills that you bring onto the table, the value, but you have to marry those skills with the requirement that this company has. Make sense? Because then you can sell yourself, sell your skills, your services for that particular job. Yeah. So for example, maybe I'm an MBA marketing, okay, and the position that I'm applying for involves marketing, right? And if there's a keyword in the job description says social media marketing, okay, I will have to incorporate social media marketing in my profile summary, right? Because that may be one of the most important determinants for that to succeed in that particular role. You get my point? So hence, profile summary should be relevant, adapted accordingly for that role, and must contain positive statements to sell you. Here is an example: an experienced clinical researcher with excellent research and quality skills, and ability to organize people and systems effectively in order to achieve objectives. Used to work under pressure and meeting strict deadlines, right? So this person has studied the job description of a clinical researcher, picked up the skills from his own experience, and incorporated that in this one statement, right? He's talked about meeting strict deadlines. Look, how much has he or she communicated in these 4 lines? Clinical researcher, research quality skills, ability to organize people, ability to achieve objectives and meet deadlines and work under pressure, right? Understood? So far, so good. So let's move forward. Next element is functional skills. List the key skills you have that are needed for the job. Write statements that support how each of the key skills, how you have each of the key skills, and then saying how you have those skills be specific and relevant. What I mean by that is, one way you can write your skills is just a laundry list, right? But especially if you're a fresher, especially if you don't have experience to talk about, then the question comes, कि मैम हम resume में लिखें क्या, right? What do we write in the resume when I do not have an experience to talk about? So when you write your skills, see if you can. So there is a way when you tell something, and there is a difference when you show something. You understand, right? If I have to tell that I have certain skills, I can make a laundry list. But if I have to make it really impactful and make it sound really genuine, authentic, I should be able to show that, right? So for example, if I say digital marketing ka example le lete hain. So if I'm saying social media marketing skills, okay, in the social media marketing skills, if I just say social media marketing skills, or if I am writing and explaining social media marketing skills, what have I done under social media marketing? Led social media posts for 800 pages, for example, okay? Or ensured the growth of audiences on a certain page by 26%, right? Or led the social media project for my college, right? I hope you get my point now. I've given you examples, but if you can be specific and you can write down how have you honed those skills, it sounds more compelling. I'm sure you all will agree, right? Rather than just saying social media skills, but telling what have I done under social media skills, which skills, right? You have, you basically are authentically telling them that you know this very well. This is where you've learned it, and this is how good you were when you learned it, right? So it just becomes more specific. All right. So that's what I mean when I say talk about them and support each of the key skills with some statements. Next on this list is experience. Keep it simple. I don't know how much relevant this one is for you, but if you are a fresher, you're just starting out, of course, you will not have experience. Simple, right? But if at all there is, then you keep it simple. Make sure you write dates, position, title, company name, and company location. Be sure you include your internships. So this is very relevant for you. If you do not have a professional experience, but maybe you have internship. If you have those internships and projects, you can talk about experience, and then you can say internship in the next headline. You can have a subheading and say these were internships, where these were unpaid positions, and make sure they are relevant. All right. Be concise in your descriptions of what you did. Don't just say I was leading this, I was part of this team. Don't just say that. And if you have to write something like that, I would say do not write it at all, because everything that goes into that resume is serving a purpose. So please be very judicious about why you are adding onto that line. Do it only when you're sure that it is going to take you one step closer to the dream job or to this targeted job. Translate specialized skills and interests into everyday language. So keep it simple. The language should be really simple, and just stick to having these headings. Now, if I had to tell you the most important part of a resume, then it is this. So make sure you write it down in bold, have your achievements and highlight them. You know, it's very funny. I always tell people that in India, we are never taught to really talk about our achievements, right? We are very modest people. At least that's what we want to position ourselves as, and that's how we want to be seen by other people. But I always tell people that resume is not a place to be modest. Let me repeat that. Resume is not a place to be modest. So remember, if you don't blow your trumpet, then who will? तो अगर आपने कुछ भी अच्छा काम किया है, resume में जरूर लिखिए उसको, ठीक है? Make sure you talk about your achievements with in bold or in italics, highlight those achievements. So list those achievements during your experience, mention all your awards, accolades, along with why did you receive them, what did you do to have earned them, mention the needed data to substantiate the results you produce. So आपने क्या अच्छा काम किया था जिसकी वजह से आपको वो acknowledgement मिला या वो achievement मिला, right? So here is an example: achieve growth in the sales revenue at the rate of 25% vis-a-vis previous year, right? Simple, short, impactful, because it talks about data, right? And you never lie with the data, right? So make sure you talk only data when you have it and when you know it's right, okay? So achievements, very, very important. One of the most important things on your resume. And then of course the personal details, education, sorry, this is education, degrees, month, year obtained, name and location of school, grade, point average. This becomes even more critical if you're starting afresh, right? Because obviously, आपने experience नहीं लिया है आपका, you haven't worked with a company. So it's important that you focus on your education, and education के time पे क्या achievements थे, क्या percentages था, right? What grades did you get, right? Just show your academic background. And a brief summary of important courses you have taken, that also might be helpful. That just shows that you are somebody who's constantly learning and upgrading yourself. And then of course the personal details: name, address, phone number, email address. Ensure that it's professional. Okay, don't say jamesbond@gmail.com. All right, and LinkedIn profile, of course, now that goes into the resume as well as one of the highlights, something maybe right on the top. So that brings us to the end of elements of resume, right? So we've covered why is resume important, what is the what is a resume first and foremost, why should you create a professional and an irresistible resume, how should it be shared, positioning you for that particular role, how much time does a recruiter take to scan your resume, why you should make it different, why you should keep it short and concise as much as possible, the length of the resume, and of course we have gone through the elements, the important elements of the resume, right? So I will now go to quick do's and don'ts when you're creating a resume for yourself. Make sure it is relevant, make sure it is selling your achievements, it is easy to read and follow, it is detailed and accurate. Now this may be counterintuitive. You may say, ma'am, at one point you're saying it has to be as short as possible. The other part you're saying that it has to be as detailed as possible. So yes, it can seem daunting, but it is not. And let me explain that. Why I'm saying that is that if you remember to keep it as concise as possible, you will make sure that you do not write any unnecessary information, right? Your sentences need to be really crisp, and it does take some practice to get there, all right? Make sure it is truthful. It's obviously, I'm not going to elaborate on that, but I think आप कुछ भी details अगर गलत लिख दे तो sooner or later everybody gets to know, right? Make sure that you're seen in a professional light. Be truthful and own up whatever your story may be, right? And highlight the skills that you have developed. And some don'ts here. Full of irrelevant information, absolutely no. A list of job titles and duties, please, not at all. You have to write the details about what you have done. Don't just give a list, a laundry list. It should not be jumbled and cramped. It should not be vague. It should have extremely specific details. And obviously it should not be dishonest. All right. So that's about the resume. And where should you start? So if you want to, sit down tonight and start building your resume, you may say, ma'am, ये सब तो ठीक है, but how do I start? Where do I start? So here are some quick, a quick rule book for you. Okay, you can start from here, a blueprint for you. Make sure you choose a CV layout. That's step number one. क्या layout होना चाहिए, क्या format होगा. It becomes easier then to fill it the content. Okay, choose a layout which is clear and which is easy to read. Do not experiment too much. Don't at this stage, especially if you are in IT industry, do not experiment too much with fancy formats, because let's not forget the resume might be scanned by an ATS. What is ATS? An automatic tracking system, or an RTS, recruitment tracking system, where it's not even a person who's reading your resume, it's a system, it's a software, right? Who's just scanning the resume to find the keywords. So please do not experiment too much, okay? Stick to the conventional, professional looking resume layout. Compile your personal profile, which is a summary of your main skills and points. Complete your career history, exercise, and identify your skills and achievements. Assess which of your hobbies, interests, and extracurricular activities to include in your CV. I wouldn't suggest this if you are somebody who's about 5-6 years of experience, right? But if you are starting afresh, we can talk about, and it's time to also showcase your overall personality. And sometimes you may have achievements in the extracurricular field, in the extracurricular activities in your school or college. You can talk about those. Identify any training courses completed and make sure you write that down in the resume. Okay, so that brings us at the end of the resume bit. Of course, I'm going to talk a little bit about cover letter. Anita, you might want to chip in here. We have a poll, right?
Yeah, so thank you, Chinmay. First of all, the Peter story was very fascinating. And I do agree that we all are like selling for a living. I do agree with the statement. Also, I know that the students, they might have gone through the resume dish also with limited ingredients, but the most important ones. I hope they will be keeping that thing in their mind as well. Yeah, so yeah, students, I hope that you have gained all the insights that have been shared on the resume building. So now we have 3 resumes that is labeled as A, B, and C. So we'll have a poll. First of all, we'll show the resume A for nearly 30 seconds, B again for 30 seconds, and C again for 30 seconds. And at the end, we'll be having a poll wherein you need to tell us that which of the CV you'll be most likely be shortlisting for any of the job role. Right? So Astha, can we share the CVs?
Yeah, sure, ma'am. Sharing
Shall
the
I do
series
it?
in 10 seconds.
Okay, Asta will do it. Okay, fine.
Okay. Yeah.
So are you all ready? Come on, show me your hands. Are we all ready for this quick poll? Let me see how many of you were sleeping and how many of you were really, you were focusing on this, on all the insights that I've shared.
Yeah, I guess the stories, and it's kind of very interactive presentation. I would appreciate that. I mean, it's kind of, your eyes will not just even blink with those pretty good in the animation. Yeah. So students, you can even if let's say you want to write something.
Yeah, they're all waiting.
Yeah, the Q&A section is open. If you want to have a message there, you can even put a message also there. Q&A, you can put the questions also. Even if you have certain messages, you can very well say there as well. Okay, so
I'm gonna, Anita, may I?
Yeah,
okay.
sure.
So guys, this is the resume A. So hang on. The question will happen after you've seen all the 3 resumes. This is the resume A. Take a look at it. Spend time. Go through all the headings. We have discussed a lot of these things today. आप अच्छे से देख लीजिए. This is the resume A. We will ask you to pick one out of these 3, okay? So there is summary, there's education, there is skills, projects, experience, achievements, certificates. Okay. Okay, all of you make notes.
You can just make the notes,
You've
right?
seen the resume A. So this person has experience, right? Education is right on top, then experience. Okay. Projects and skills. Okay. And now we have the resume C. Okay, this is the resume C, all right?
Yeah, guys, so the poll is open to choose among A, B, and C. And I guess you have very well analyzed that which one is better and which one you would, choose if, let's say, you were the recruiter, even if you want to make any kind of resume. So the poll is open. Students, you can
Right.
poll for that.
So Anita, basically what we are saying is which one are you most likely to shortlist, right?
Exactly.
So guys, we have shown you 3 resumes, resume A, B, and this is C. You can choose which one are you most likely, or which one is the recruiter most likely to shortlist out of these 3 resumes. Okay, thank you, Asta. Anita, will you be able to see the results? मुझे तो नहीं
Yeah.
दिख रहा है, but ठीक है.
Activity section again, the poll.
Acha, poll. Oh, okay, I can see. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can see. I can see. Okay,
So
let's give
student-
them few more seconds.
Exactly. I guess students are okay. They are still changing their options.
So if you're confused, first, second, third resumes हमने दिखाए थे आपको screen पे. The first was A, the second was B, and the third last one was C. And the question is, which resume has the better chance to get shortlisted by the recruiter? You just have to rate one. Was it A, was it B, or was it C? सबसे अच्छा resume आपको कौन सा लगा with reference to whatever we have discussed so far? So we have votes for all the 3, by the way.
Yeah.
All right, which is not what I was expecting, but never mind. And I'd actually love to hear why people think A was good. I don't know if there's a way to do that, but
We
anyway,
do have.
let's,
If,
we do have a
uh,
possibility to
yes,
maybe bring out both A and B, or maybe I can also try and do that. Hold on, let me see if I can share. So who was the person who talked about A, B, and C? Ashirwad, you said, huh?
Yeah, Ashirwad Kumar, he has given the series. I mean, in the series order only.
Yeah. So Ashirwad, I want to give a shout out to you and congratulations. I mean, I think you were bang on. But I also see people with 16 votes to A, 20 votes to B, and 10 to C. So of course, okay, we can see some comments here.
Exactly. That actually in the
Anita, could you
Q&A,
just
I'll read it.
हाँ,
Shiv,
आप मुझे बता दीजिएगा. Can you just read out?
Shiv Pathak says, I think A is best because of the format and like the skills is highlighted. So Shiv basically vouches for A. Anurag Kumar says B is perfect. It is short, concise, and everything is mentioned very clearly. So these are the kind of comments they have given for, I mean, the people who are using, they're choosing A and as well as B.
Right. Can you see my screen, Anita?
Yes, I can. Yeah.
Okay. So this was the resume A, right? Yeah. So in my opinion, okay, I'm going to quickly debrief now. In my opinion, B was the best resume. Okay. A was good. C was certainly, there's a huge scope of improvement there. All right. Now let me talk about why is A better than B. Okay. I'm sure I'm not, nobody requires me to discuss C, but here is the resume A. All right. Let's just go right from the top. So he says software developer, there's a headline, there are details here right on the top. A web developer, professional within the development and graphic designer. So by the way, the language is incorrect also, which I just noticed to enhance my skills. So grammar is totally off. Okay. Education is here, skills nicely formatted there with the web links, and nice to see achievements here. Okay. But under experience, actually there's no value when the experience is spoken about. It says present in Pointer technologies. So there are no dates, there is nothing, no details given about what did he or she do during this time. So when you say experience, हमको सिर्फ company name nahi list out karna hai. We have to be able to say that this is what I did as a front end and a back end developer, right? So there is no position given, there are no dates given. कहीं भी ये लिखा नहीं है कि internship था, कि work experience था, कितने time के लिए वो काम किया, उस दौरान क्या achievements थे. So all those details are totally missing. Achievements are given, but again, learn from my team from Smart India. So, which team are you talking about? Was this during college? Was this during tenure in an organization, right? So, आधी अधूरी details हैं. Certificates are there, but dates नहीं है, again, timeline नहीं दिया हुआ है. Projects दिया है ऊपर, अगर हम देखें projects hot stream link. This is my project. First and foremost, very important. You never write language in first person. Okay, what do I mean by that? You never say words, use words like I, me, my in the resume. You can do that on the LinkedIn profile, but not on the resume. Okay, please make a note of this. You do not talk in the first person. You always use passive language. Okay, and again, the focus is on action. The focus is on I am using Bootstrap and Framer. So technology के बारे में लिखा है, but हमने ये नहीं लिखा कि what did I achieve during that project? Project completion में हमने क्या किया, that we have not written, right? When you say, so I think I've shared enough details. Anita, would you have any question, or is there anybody who's talked about any question?
Yeah, sure. So Chinmay, like we'll just take a few questions which the students they have written in the Q&A only. So Pranav Pandey, he's asking, should we add badges earned on coding platforms on our resume? Basically, he's talking about the badges, for example, certain certifications. Like, for example, on LinkedIn also, we earn certain kind of badges. Then on AWS platforms also, we have certain badges wherein the certification is there. So should we add?
So well, if you ask me, sorry, Anita, you're not completed yet.
Done. You can go on. Done.
Okay, so badges, I'm not sure how will you add those badges. Why I'm saying this, because they may distort the format of your resume. Remember, I talked about uploading it on an ATS scanning your resume. So you do want to take a chance. And that also reminds me that whenever you share a resume, it should be in a PDF. So I would still suggest that you stick to the basic formats, basic layout. I would not prefer badges just for the fear of it being ruled out by the ATS. Agar wo fear nahi hai, and if you're sure that there is somebody manually scanning, sure, by all means, you can put the badges. They may look nice. But even if you don't use the badges, the idea is to have the content, right? Whatever badge you have, right? Whatever certification, make sure you list them out properly in under the heading of education and qualification, or enhanced education, or certifications, training and certification. जो भी आप headline use कर रहे हैं, you can just list out under that. And if you want to showcase that how good you perform during that certification, then you can also write your grade there. Okay, I hope I've answered that question. So let's look at anything else, Anita, or shall I go to
Yeah,
now the B resume?
yeah, we have one more question from the student only. That is like, you already mentioned that you must mention experiences, and let's say if you don't have any experience, you can even mention the internship as well, right? But let's say the student is a fresher, not having any experience, along with that hasn't done any kind of internship as well. So any kind of possibility that a certain content or what they should be adding to their resume.
So if you do not have any experience, आपने कॉलेज के टाइम पे कोई तो प्रोजेक्ट किया होगा, राइट? आपने कॉलेज के टाइम पे यू हैड सम लीडरशिप position. Maybe you were part of the literary committee or you were part of the extracurricular committee. और अगर वो भी नहीं किया, then you just stick to talking about your skills. Just focus on talking about your academics, right? And other elements that we talk about. उसके में फिर आपका experience नहीं होगा. In that case, you should also think कि आप बचपन से लेके स्कूल टाइम से लेके अभी तक कुछ तो अचीवमेंट होगा लाइफ में, राइट? समथिंग दैट यू मे हैव अचीव्ड, राइट? यू कैन टॉक अबाउट दैट.
Okay, yeah. Chinmay, yeah. So one last question. Let's say, there are like certain of the internship and certain experience like somebody's having, but they're applying for a different job role. So will that experience and that internship will help in getting that job as well if they list the same on their resume?
What you're asking me is that experience A है, लेकिन अब आप जो जॉब के लिए अप्लाई कर रहे हो वो B है. Totally different things, right? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So there is a word, Anita, there is a word in the industry called transferable skills. Okay. So one, of course, you should not hide any experience. अगर आपको कुछ भी experience है तो which shows that you have worked somewhere, you have certain experience. Why should you make it zero by not writing it? Number one. Secondly, I think that is an art, and I am not sure how many people can do that, but there is a way. And if you remember, I was talking about leveraging the requirement and marrying it to your skills, right? So whatever it is that you may have done, there are some transferable skills. For example, communication skills. For example, technical skills. Maybe you were using 3 skills in the past job, which may be relevant even today. So you have to think and find out what are those transferable skills that have made me or that have given me the confidence that I can also apply for a next role, which may be from a different industry, which may be a different role. Let me give you one more example. अगर आप कुछ नया करना चाहते हैं and that you want to pivot in your career, then make sure you highlight your learnability skills, right? Anita, if you were working in your past company, आपने वहां भी तो कुछ first time किया था, right? You had done something for the first time, but you learned it. So which achievement can I highlight and which projects my learnability skills? That fine, I have never done it, but I can do this. Why? Because I have the confidence, because I've done this once before. I had done it. I trained for this particular on this particular technology. I was given this project and then I delivered. So if you can showcase your achievements from your past role, no matter which role you may be applying in, you still have a chance, right? Because it gives you the confidence. It shows that you have delivered results. And I hope we all know that even when an interview happens, the behavioral event interviewing, it's all about it is believed so that your past performance is the predictor of your future performance. So I think just start with what you have and where you are, and do share all the details, but also understand how you can leverage your past experience to get your future targeted job.
Yeah, thank
I
you
hope
for the
I'm clear.
answer. Yeah, you're clear. And I guess I can very well relate to this, that yes, those transferable skills, they can actually help leadership, management, all of these skills are already, because one can imbibe
Yes.
the skills at one workplace and then automatically can use them throughout the
Absolutely.
lifetime. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
or अगर कोई technical role है, Anita, then you can also go for a certification. So you're at least showing that I am doing everything in my capacity to learn this new skill,
exactly.
to acquire the new skill, right? Okay, let me now quickly complete the resume B. So everybody look at this resume B, and let me tell you all the good things about this resume, because why it stood out and it is the best resume from the lot. Education, and look at how it's written. The details are given about the year, kahan se pass out kiya, along with the CGPA. You know, these are specific small details which make an impact, right? Which year, CGPA 10. So, you know, what it tells me is even before I read the person's name, or I'm not even talking about any details, right in the first 3 lines, it shows that the person is a hardworking chap, or you know, if it's a girl, somebody who's very serious about their academics, is also consistent from 10th, 12th, and college. Okay, then you come in experience. बहुत neatly, very nice, clean and tidy format, very basic format, but look at the content. The company name is given, the timeline is given. Last wale mein koi timeline nahi thi, if you remember, the A resume. Then it talks about the role. It also talks about, see how the person has highlighted these details, highlighted the technology. And then even look at this amazing achievement, you know, how he's or she has written. We project that the new course page will bring in a significant number of clients, boost advertising and promotion, and boost company revenues by up to 40%. Right? Of course, ये मुझे इस word से problem है, we project. इसका मतलब हमने अभी achieve नहीं किया. So he's a very smart guy, because you know, if you see that this achievement has not happened yet, but they are only projecting. So ये ideally आना नहीं चाहिए resume में, but you get the point. Leverage the PostgreSQL database for information storage of 12K. So look at how he or she has highlighted the data, increase the web traffic by 20%, mobile response, all the key highlights, key points, the keywords have been highlighted, the impact created has been highlighted, projects has been, just look at these. The person, if he or she is definitely a technical chap. So, you know, the way the technologies have been highlighted, skills, and then of course, even additional, this can come under achievements though. And if I was this person, then I would have tried to bring it back in, you know, concise it into one pager, because second page ye dekhiye pura khali hai. But so many good points, and definitely this resume stood out for me. And if I was the recruiter, I would have picked up the phone and called this person. Some areas of improvement. Since this person has experience, education नीचे आना चाहिए. Education उनके लिए सबसे ऊपर लिखना चाहिए जिनके पास experience नहीं है, right? Of course, there's no profile summary. I would like to add a profile summary or a headline. Then experience, then skills. In fact, skills pehle, for experience, then education, projects, and personal details. So that's about it for now for these resumes. Obviously, I'm choosing the resume A. If there are any questions, please write it down. Anita will help you get the answers. Anita, shall we restart and, you know, pick up the presentation again?
Yeah, we can start with the cover letter, I guess. And up till that time, students can post their question in the Q&A. I'll just share it by the end of the session.
Sure.
Now. Done.
Sure. So we finished the resume, and, you know, we talked about where should you start. We have covered this. Now let's talk about cover letter. Cover letter hota kya hai? It's nothing but, in today's time, it's nothing but an email that you send along with your resume. All right. So a personalized cover letter can further enhance your job application. It expands on the critical points from your CV. So what you do is you just start with warm, you introduce yourself and you give the context, which job are you applying for? And then you begin answering the question that why should the person look at your resume? So you're only talking about the critical points, the achievements, and ending with a call to action that, you know, I look forward to a call for interview, or please, I look forward to the opportunity to present my candidature, and so on and so forth. Make sure you write your phone number at the end when you sign off. It creates the first impression. Taking the trouble to write a letter further highlights your interest in the position. So basically what you're showing is that I'm really keen in this role, and here is why you should give me a chance to meet up. Okay. Now, an effective cover letter. So first, to identify the position applied for and refer to the advertisement. If it's not an advertisement, it may be a reference. So you give that, talk about that reference, or jahan se bhi ye source tha, website tha, or on LinkedIn, you know, make sure you mention that. In case of employee reference, I've already said, mention the name and title. Introduce yourself, your education, and your current position. If you are not working, then you just talk about yourself and your education, and maybe something that can make you stand out. For example, this is what I believe in, or my motto in life is, yeah. Begin by stressing your interest in the company and display some knowledge of its achievements. Share your strength areas and why you think you are the right match to position for these requirements. highlight your biggest achievement and refer to your resume for more details, and thank the reader for taking the time to read your letter. Now, if you see, there is something called STAR. By the way, we will need a separate webinar for that. So I cannot go into the detail, but I think it's important that we pause here. And if you remember, I talked about how achievement is the most important slide and the most important part on the resume. Now, you may say, Chinmay, how do we write down an achievement? So there is a format. There is a formula for that. And that formula is called STAR. It's an acronym that stands for situation, task, action, and result. Okay. So whenever you draft that sentence to mention your achievement, make sure all the four are there. What was the situation? So it could talk about the context, कि क्या project का नाम था या क्या technology पे काम कर रहे थे. Then task, task is nothing but you are supposed to do this, what you were supposed to do as an engineer, as a quality analyst, or whatever that you may be doing. And what actions did you take, and then what was the result? क्योंकि वो achievement तभी होगा when you have a result. Now, you may say, Chinmay, all the results are not quantifiable or not cannot be described or articulated in the form of a number. In that case, you talk about the impact it created. Maybe reduction in the cost, maybe reduction in employee increase in employee engagement, or increase in customer satisfaction, some impact that you may have created, improvement in quality. All right. Even if you don't have the number, make sure you write something about the impact it created for you, for your team, for your client, for your company. All right. I mean, / any of these. Okay. So that is the effective cover letter. And on that note, I want to start talking about how can you create a irresistible LinkedIn profile. Anita, do I have your go ahead? Do you want to pause?
Yeah, Chinmay, we can move further. If any questions are there, we'll just take it at the end of it.
Done.
Yeah.
Okay. So we are almost reaching the end, but before that, this is an extremely important topic. How do you position yourself with your LinkedIn profile, right? Because LinkedIn profile is the largest professional network we have, okay? So you may say, what is the difference between a resume and a LinkedIn profile, right? And you may have these questions actually. Can I just copy paste my resume on the LinkedIn? The answer is absolutely no, all right? Why should I have a LinkedIn profile at all? And I promise you, I'm gonna answer all these questions and you will find the answers here itself. So LinkedIn profile is nothing but a resume that never sleeps. What does that mean? That your profile exists online, right? So even while you're sleeping at night, somebody somewhere in the world may land up on your profile, right? So it's a resume that never sleeps. With employers on LinkedIn, this will build a professional identity online. I hope you know that with millions of people online today, companies use this as the #1 tool in hiring, all right? It is a way for companies to find you. It is a powerful tool to see career paths of graduates. You can connect with the alumni of your own college, for instance. You can start networking. You can create groups. You can participate in discussions and whatnot, right? It's a place to talk to schools, current students, alumni network. It's a great place to learn about industries, interesting paths from campus to career. Yeah. So that is why a LinkedIn profile is super, super important. Any idea how many people exist on LinkedIn today? As of 2023, there are 900 million people, right? There are 900 million people today on LinkedIn. Most LinkedIn members, from different countries, largest industries, IT itself, and these data, this particular data and picture may not be so updated, but 4 million people, so maximum people belong to the IT services. If LinkedIn were a country, it would have been the 5th largest population in the world, right? So let's see, what does it take for you to have an effective LinkedIn profile? Have an appropriate professional profile picture. Now it's a no-brainer, right? You say, I can have any, I can just click a cool picture of myself and put it up there, but that's not true. You should see, it is meant to be a professional network, so please treat it like that. Uh, have a professional image of you. For other images, you can use them on Instagram or Facebook, but make sure on LinkedIn you have a professional picture. 70% of that picture should be your face. Yeah. Write a concise headline stating who you are and what you do. Okay. uh, Example: engineering graduate, aspiring pharmaceutical analyst, and an enthusiast. In fact, if you take my advice, don't just mention your title, because that will anyway be demonstrated when you talk about your experience. So talk about something which people don't know, or which people will not know after seeing your profile. And the idea is, by the way, I hope you know that the first thing that a person sees in your profile is your picture and your headline, right? So make sure in the headline you talk about something that catches their attention, something that can talk about your unique selling proposition, and so much so that they feel like scrolling it down and looking at your experience and skills too. Okay. In fact, most of you are most welcome. All of you are welcome to go and see my LinkedIn profile. It may not be the best one, but what I'm trying to tell you is that look at the headline, how I have communicated in the headline that why you should contact me, right? What is the problem that I can solve for you, right? And I have also used a banner. So we now have this provision to use a banner. So, even if you're not working as yet, you can talk about maybe, some one of your mottos in life, something that your brand stands out. And uske liye fir wahi hai, if you remember the first slide in my presentation, I said know yourself. So if you know yourself, if you know where you're going, it's not so hard to position yourself on LinkedIn. Show off all of your experience, from volunteering to extracurricular activities to part-time or full-time jobs and industrial training. So now you see, you put all your experience, everything will count as experience. And that reminds me of a question Anita asked, that excuse me, अगर कोई experience नहीं है तो क्या लिख सकते हैं? But you can talk about so many more things, right? Extracurricular activities, volunteer कभी किया है, कोई industrial project किया है, yeah, maybe you were helping somebody in the family to set up a business or helping them out. That can come under volunteering, and so on. Write about your skill set that you have developed over the years in college during any prior job experience. Mention the experience, organizations, achievements, award, classes. If you see LinkedIn profile has provisions for all these, so make sure you use that, you exploit it to the fullest, and still be judicious, so that I see a lot of profiles where people talk about 85, 90 skills, right? Now that becomes a mockery. Why? Because you cannot have 90 core skills. Nobody can have it. So again, I would remind you of the context. हम क्यों LinkedIn profile बना रहे हैं? हम क्यों resume बना रहे हैं? Because you want to grab the right job. You want to target a particular job. And for that, you just need to focus on communicating how can you sell your skills that are relevant for that job. Don't try to write everything you've done in the last 20, 30, 40 years of your life. Okay. So be judicious with what you write. Skills, I don't recommend people more than 12. 12, 14 is an optimum number to showcase your core skills. And get recommendations to build credibility. Don't be shy. If you work with somebody, you can always request them a recommendation. And the one way to do that is by offering them a recommendation. If you work with somebody, start by giving it yourself, and then hopefully the person will want to return the favor. And even if he or she doesn't do that, maybe in a few days you can request and ask them to give you a recommendation. A complete profile gets 7 times more views from alumni and recruiters. So all you have to do is just complete your LinkedIn profile. You anyway have the edge over others. LinkedIn is your online professional playground. Learn how to optimize your profile to attract the recruiters, build valuable connections, complete the profile, work on your networking strategies, and post engaging content. Zaruri nahi hai wo content aapne khud likha ho, right? Sometimes you can share somebody else's content, but of course by giving them the due credit. All right. If you like something, share it. You can network, and networking is just not for extroverts. Discover the art of strategic networking, expand your professional circle, tap into the hidden opportunities. And networking is not about what is in it for me. That is where people go wrong. Networking is about what can I do for you, right? If you start with that intent, of course, people will network for you, because sooner or later they will realize that you're not just here asking for a job, right? Problem happens when we only network when we need a job, right? So don't do that. Your skills are your secret weapon. Learn how to effectively showcase in your resume and LinkedIn profile. Make sure you highlight your unique abilities and demonstrate the value for potential employers. And make sure you leverage recommendations because it is a social proof of your expertise. Maybe you don't, you may not, if you're somebody who's starting out your career, it's a great time to do this webinar and understand these insights because they are going to come in handy as you start your career now. And as you move along on the way, keep building your LinkedIn profile, keep updating your resume. Every 3 months, 6 months, you should update your LinkedIn profile and your resume. It is not just about finding a job, but it is about building a long-term and a fulfilling career. Start by requesting your recommendations. We've already talked about that, and make sure that it shines on your profile. Stay active and engaged. Consistency is key. So learn how to stay active, maximize your visibility and opportunities, understand the power of content creation, join groups and participate in discussions, right? LinkedIn profile is not just about finding a job, but LinkedIn profile is about networking with the right people. It is about building thought leadership and also about learning, right? So congratulations, you are now equipped with the knowledge to unlock this power of your resume and LinkedIn profile. Make sure you embrace your personal brand. Make sure you network strategically and start now, not when you need a job, but start now. Small steps will really count a lot and showcase your skills with confidence. On that note, I am done with this presentation. I want to take a minute and introduce my brand Change Your Story. Anita, do I have your permission?
Yeah, Chinmay, you can take a minute for that, sure.
Yeah. So this is Change Your Story. As Anita had initially introduced me, I am the Chief Optimist and Career Coach. These are our values. We believe in loving unconditionally to make a difference in people's lives and career, inspire action towards making people happy and making them succeed. We believe you should be in 100% integrity despite temptations to be otherwise, personify passion to enlive in the passion of others, and deliver with unshakable and unstoppable commitment. These are our core values. Our purpose is to empower people to discover meaningful professional goals and handhold them on that journey to get there happier, faster, and stronger. Services we offer are career coaching, interview coaching, resume writing, and consulting. Interview coaching, of course, right? We help people through personalized one-to-one coaching programs, group coaching programs, helping them identify their potential and strengths, and how can they change their story professionally. Interview coaching is an offering where we help people learn the tricks and trades about interview coaching, and this is not just for the freshers, but we do it for mid-level executives to senior level professionals, and how can they get hired right into their dream job. Resume writing, I think we've talked enough, but we do these standalone resume writing projects for professionals where we help them come up with their unique selling proposition, and we coach them around how can they pitch for the role with their resume and LinkedIn profile. I'm sure all of you face these challenges, uncertainty, competition, not being able to showcase employability and the confidence to play the role that you want to target. Some of you do not understand about yourself, do not know what your strengths are. And that's where we come in as a career coach, as your career coach, where we help people getting to know themselves and then how can they position themselves as an expert in their chosen field. Some of the results we have created, we help people identify their true potential, help them define their career goals, understand their strengths, improve them, become confident by developing a job search strategy, develop capability to find their own answers to the most difficult interview questions, and build their own brand with the constructive feedback. During interview coaching, we also talk about how can you read the interviewer's mind and what does it really mean when he or she asks a question? What is that he or she really wants to listen to? And how can you increase the visibility of your resume and LinkedIn profile and get a world-class resume with excellent quality and accuracy? On that note, thank you so much, HopingMinds, for this opportunity. I've had this amazing time today, this afternoon, with you all, and I hope that you've enjoyed as much as I have. Thank you so much. Anita, over to you.
Yeah, so indeed, Chinmay, we enjoyed all the expertise and experience that you have shared with us. And I hope that, yes, even our students and the audience, they've enjoyed listening to you with the kind of interactive presentation that you have given. Yeah, so yes, now we can move on to the exciting part, and I can just see multiple messages also in the WhatsApp group that, when are we having the quiz, right? So let's just start with Kahoot now.
Sure.
So students, yeah, it's a kind of a fun quiz, which basically will be having 10 questions. Make sure it's a race with the time. Number one thing is the login pin is also listed. And number two thing is the link is also posted in the chat box. I guess many of you have started joining as well. So yes, good luck to everyone. I hope you have listened to the webinar very carefully. Now it's time for the quiz. So in a resume, which of the following using long paragraphs to describe your work experience, using bullet points to showcase your achievements and responsibilities, using complex industry jargons, using a creative font and formatting style. Be quick. So the time is up, and the correct answer is B, using bullet points to showcase your achievements and responsibilities. So 24 have chosen the correct option. Let's see the leaderboard now. So we have Pratyush. Okay, he was the one who was asking for the pin again and again. Fine. Nikhil, Arvind S. So this, we have Prav 0 also. Let's move to the next question now. So which of the following is a key consideration when formatting your resume for online applications? So using colorful fonts to make it visually appealing, saving it in a non-standard file format, including relevant keywords for applicant tracking system, that is ATS, which Chinmay just now talked about, keeping the document length to a single page. The key consideration. Okay. So third is the correct option. Pratyush again on the top. Nikhil, Kranti.
So Anita, these marks are on the basis of the speed, is it? Speed and
Yes.
accuracy.
Yeah, Chinmay, it's kind of race with the time also. Accuracy plus along
Got
with
it.
kind of seconds they are taking. So it's kind of fun quiz.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah. Next is, what is a LinkedIn connection? Just now we discussed a feature to join in trust-based groups, a paid premium membership level, a user you connect with to build a professional network. And the last is a personal blog you can create on LinkedIn. Okay, great. Very few wrong answers. So 30 have given the correct answer. Now we have a different name on the top, that is Kranti. Great. Next, on LinkedIn, what is the primary benefit of having a complete and detailed profile? Options: it helps other users get an idea of what you have and can do. It allows you to send unlimited connection requests. It helps you share personal stories with your connections. And last is, it automatically sends endorsements to your connections. Be quick, guys. Time is up, and 26 have answered A. That is the correct one. Let us see the leaderboard now. I guess we skipped off the leaderboard. What should you avoid when posting content on LinkedIn? Sharing industry news and insights, engaging in respectful discussions with connections, posting inappropriate or offensive content, promoting your skills and accomplishments. So students are very quick in answering. I guess they have, listened to your whole of the webinar very carefully.
I can't stop smiling.
So the correct option is 23. 23 have answered correctly. C is the correct option. And the leaderboard is Kranti is again at the top. Then we have Logan, Arpit, Nikhil, and Ankush.
Good going, guys. We still have
Yeah.
few more questions, right?
Yes. So on LinkedIn, what is the benefit of regularly engaging with your network through likes, comments, and shares? It helps you to accumulate more connection requests. It can improve your search ranking on the platform. It automatically sends connection requests to new users, or it allows you to send private messages to your connections. All are done, I guess. Okay. So B is the correct option and 27 have answered correctly. Now we can see the leaderboard for the same. Okay, so I guess there are like very few changes. 4 are still at the top. One change, that is perv 0 is in the frame now. Yeah, next. What is the significance of having a custom LinkedIn URL? Allows you to upload larger profile pictures, makes your profile easier to find and share, enables you to send unlimited connection requests, or automatically generates personalized endorsements. Okay, so B is the correct option. And 32 have answered correctly. Very few wrong answers, only 5 are there. Great. So the leaderboard still remains the same. Kranti, Logan, Arpit, Jain, Nikhil, Ankush is again in the frame. Let's move further. Only 3 questions left. How can you maximize the visibility of your LinkedIn profile to potential employers or recruiters? By setting your profile to private mode, connecting with as many users as possible, regardless of relevance, regularly updating your profile with the fresh content and engaging network, removing all your skills and endorsements. Students are very quick. Okay. So the leaderboard again says there is no change. Basit Ali, okay, he is in the frame. He was the winner last time also, Basit Ali. Okay. Next. So which feature on LinkedIn allows you to follow companies and stay updated on their news and job openings? LinkedIn groups, LinkedIn Premium, LinkedIn Learning, LinkedIn company pages. In less than 10 seconds, everybody's answering. Okay. So kind of mixed response was there. Kranti again is at the top. Basit is there. We have Bindu as well. The top 3 are not changed. Let's move to the next question now. The last one. So what is the purpose of
Brace
featured?
yourself.
Yeah. Options are to display endorsements from colleagues, to showcase media and documents relevant to your work, to list your favorite movies and TV shows, to share personal anecdotes and stories. Let's see. Okay, second is the correct option. See the leaderboard now. The final leaderboard that we have. Third is Arpit Jain. Then we have Logan, and the names are pretty unique, I guess. And the first one, I guess, Kranti. Okay, that's great. Congratulations to all the winners. We have certain runners-ups also. Basit as well as Bindu are the runner-up. So it was great. It's a kind of fun game. I guess everybody has enjoyed the game. They can just give a thumbs up. So students, will be sharing all your prizes, everything. We'll be connecting with you for addresses, and we'll be sharing all the prizes and the coupons, whichever we are having. Yeah. So
And make sure all of you are sharing your prizes with me.
Oh, for sure. The share actually belongs to you only. Yeah.
No. Anyway, congratulations to all of you, all the winners. Good job.
Yes. Yeah. So thank you, Chinmay. Thank you so much for making this successful. Thank you to all the participants for making this webinar successful. So we at Hoping Minds, we already are committed to bring such webinars to build your future. And as we're an edtech firm and we are shaping the future of the web developers or data scientists, and we are bringing new courses every time wherein the students can get the placement opportunities based on that, whether it's India or it's overseas as well. Even they are normal graduates from the non-engineering background, we still have certain courses which are lined up for those as well. So you can surely visit our Instagram, our website as well, that is www.hopingminds.com. We'll be sharing all the details in the WhatsApp group also. So keep waiting for the next webinar date, and we'll be sharing the date really soon. Yeah, thank you once again, Chinmay. Anything you want to say?
Thank you so much, Anita, and I look forward to connecting with all of you. Hit me on LinkedIn, my LinkedIn profile. I have already shared. My name is Chinmay Abby, and Anita, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Okay, once again, thank you, everyone. Thank you all.